ever heard the term disruption always follow intention? Have you heard that before? Because that that's what's been happening in my space. Disruption always follow intention, and I think I heard Myron Golden said this, and the purpose of that and what that means to me is whenever you set out something to do something good, whenever you set out to serve or sell your services or market your business so your target market can find you. Life has a way of sending disruption that stop you. And when I decided that I want to do a podcast, I want to create monetize your influence podcast. When I decided that I was going to set out to do that, I remember thinking, man, this is awesome. But I didn't want this to be just another podcast. I wanted to be the podcast that I can use it as my diary. I can document in real time what is going on in my life, what's taking place. I can use this as my own journal, as to speak. So I can create a space where I can go to and be authentic and be real. So today, welcome to the authentic real of life be life it. If you can hear my voice, I am recovering. I was sick for a whole week. And when I say my life literally turned up 180, it really did. And if you're hearing me in the background, if I sound, the reason my voice sound like this is because again, I have had some type of flu, bacteria infection, sinus infection. I mean, the devil thought he had me, but I got away. It's one of those moments. And I want to share all of that with you today, how I was able to overcome that and how I'm able to walk in God's purpose and how I would enjoy for you to join me and how you can do that because I know when you set out to do entrepreneurship, life is going to be life in. When you set out to lead people to God's kingdom so they can be wealth builders, when you decided to create a wealthy life for your family, life is going to figure out a way try to stop you. And if I can be an example and to encourage you to keep going, because you're on an assignment and not because you're on an assignment, that doesn't mean that your assignment stopped. Like in the Bible, Moses was on an assignment. David was on an assignment. Saul was on an assignment. All these people were on an assignment. And even though they were on an assignment, challenges and tribulations come while they were on the assignment. That doesn't mean you stop your assignment. You just need to be aware of the assignment that you're on and why these things are happening so you can keep moving forward. So, I'm telling you, this past week has been one of the most hardest, most challenging week. And when I am so grateful that I created this space, this podcast of monetizing your influence because it's given me the ability to find some way I can express what's truly going on. So I'm just gonna thank you in advance, and I hope that this episode will transform your life because it's showing up transform my life. So it started off on Monday. Last week, I'm sorry, not last week, last weekend prior to that, my son plays soccer and we were out in the cold as any parent would be cheering their kids on for soccer camp, for a soccer competition. And of course I was screaming and cheering my son and his team on. And then around that Monday, because soccer was from from Saturday to Sunday, and around that Monday, I started not feeling well. I got a call from my son's school that I need to come pick him up because he's not feeling well. So I immediately went to my son's doctor's appointment, took him straight to the walking clinic. And I'm like, I'm just here for him. I'm feeling a little sick, but I'm more here for him because he has asthma and all these underlying conditions. So I always want to make sure he's okay. But as time permit, Monday evening, my symptoms just got so worse. I could barely have my class. And then Tuesday, I just got so sick to where I could not get out of the bed. My hands were sweating. I was sweating from head to toe. My equilibrium was off, still off for a little bit. My equilibrium was off. I couldn't get out of bed. My legs felt like spaghetti. it was like somebody had just hit me with a ton of bricks. I went from the couch to the bed, from the couch to the bed. I could not. There's so much to unpack here. I don't even know if I have one time in one episode to give you all of it, but I could not think. I could not think. My head was heavy. I had a headache out this world. I could not fight, no matter what I tried, no matter what medication they gave me. I could not fight the feeling. The feeling was so scary. Fear set in. You heard that right? Fear set in. I had to ask myself, like, oh my gosh, is this it? Like, I was so sick. And I'm the type of person that I don't conform to sickness. Because I know whatever you tell your body, that's what your body's going to do. So if I say I'm sick, my body going to act accordingly. So I was trying to stay with my fuel. I was trying to drink. My throat was sore. I was doing everything trying to fight this thing. I was taking every medication that I could think of. And I just could not fight it. I just could not fight it. And if that wasn't bad enough, where I barely can walk, barely can talk, my feet felt like spaghetti, I'm sweating severely, cannot figure out why. I have a headache, can't move. My equilibrium is off. Every time I walk, I feel like I'm about to get ready to fall. I'm sensitivity to touch, have no taste. I mean, literally, there's no taste. When I try to eat something, I just don't have an appetite for it. Then I met with my team on Monday. I spoke with Jasmine, and Jasmine says, "Hey, one of our clients was coming. We have to welcome her back in, and Jasmine will go ahead and reach out to our client Bethania." And I said, "Great! I cannot wait cannot wait to see her. See her in our next coaching call." Bethania is amazing. Bethania helped me with my program when I did Unleash Her conference. She was my right hand person, Unleashing Your Inner CEO conference. She has been our mastermind forever. Beautiful soul. She has a Medicare company for years, and she's smart in Medicare. Matter of fact, create a Medicare block framework to help Medicare clients understand Medicare a little bit better. So I was just so excited to welcome Bethania back to our group. So Jasmine said she'll reach out to her. So I got a text from Jasmine later on that day, but I was so sick that I cannot look at my text message. I'm in pain. I can't look at it. I saw the text came in, but I just could not look at the text message. So it's not until like 5 o'clock I finally got around to looking at my phone. And when I look at my phone, I saw Jasmine sent me something called a GoFundMe account. And when I saw the GoFundMe account, she was like, "Can you reach out to her sister?" And I'm going through my own issues with screen, and it hurt when I look at the screen. So I'm not registering with what Jasmine is sending to me. So I opened the GoFundMe account link, and I'm reading, but what it's saying, but I'm not understanding what it's saying. But long story short, when I open the screen and I try reading again, I close it for the second time. And then the third time, oh, Jesus, Father, thank you. I go to open the screen again, and the screen says that my client, Bethania, and her 2 kids passed away due to a fire in their home. So I called Jasmine because I'm like, okay, I know I'm super sick. So, and when you're sick, note to self, you stop. You don't try to write a check. You don't try to do a course, because all this stuff come over you. It's so overwhelming. Everything to do, the littlest thing is overwhelming. Even reading on a phone screen, it seems so overwhelming to me. So when Jasmine confirmed that, yes, the same Bethania that was supposed to be in class on Monday, the same Bethania that says she cannot wait to be back in our community because this is a space that she loved. This is a space that speaks about God's principle. This is a space that speaks about being wealthy, growing your business. And this is her community. This is her tribe. And she cannot wait to come back. And I'm saying to myself, well, I just talked to her Monday. Matter of fact, Bethania also takes care of my mom's Medicare. So I'm like, oh, I'll just see her on Monday. And to read that she passed away, my client, with her 2 kids in a fire, I just became speechless. I just became speechless. I just could not move. I just could not go on any further. I could not talk. I could not speak. I couldn't even cry in the beginning because I just felt like, devil, you had me. You got me. You got me. Yeah, yeah. It was like the devil 10, Sherry 0. I'm knocked out mentally, physically, emotionally. You got me. You got me. I'm not even going to fight you. You got me on this one. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to pray. I am in sick, feeling like I'm about to die. And then my client passed away. And then I would just what I did also didn't say to you is my uncle had just passed away, so we were dealing with that as well. So 2 deaths plus my illness. Life just becomes so emotional, overwhelming, and still is. Let me just point this out. still is. Still feels that I couldn't go on anymore. I still feel like, what's the purpose of building a business? What's the purpose of building a legacy? What's the purpose of working so hard? Like, those are all of the things that was coming to my mind because I just could not function in losing my client and then listening to her that she survived by her son, the one son that did get out. And I just spend my time reaching out to her sister, and I had a great conversation with her sister, and she was trying to cheer me up, which is weird, which is so weird because I could only imagine losing a sister and her kids and having it's a lot. Because here's the thing, no one coach you on this part. We coach on strategies, systems, tools, but how do you coach when someone is dying? How do you coach when someone has passed away? How do you coach someone in getting their strength back? How do you help them to believe again when it seemed like everything you used to believe, and then you're in this society where in the same week you have airplanes crashing, and you have all these DEI, and you have all these things that are going on, and this craziness with the president. There's just so much. This past week was so overwhelming. I don't even know how I'm still here talking to you, because I was so overwhelmed. Everything just came crashing down, and I couldn't motivate. I couldn't transform. I couldn't inspire because the person who needed it most was me. I couldn't go on. It was so bad. I remember calling my life insurance company and just making sure my policies and stuff was intact. That's how sick I felt, mentally, physically. That's just how sick I felt. So if you're ever right now feeling like that in your life, I know what it's like to having no hope. I know what it's like to not believe in positive again. I know what it's like to feeling, what's the sense of putting yourself out there? What's the sense of marking your business if tomorrow morning all of this can just go away? What's the sense? What's the sense of wasting your time? When I look at the beautiful Bethania, and I have a video of her on stage talking at my conference, I remember her saying, I want more of that. I want to be on stage. I want to be part of this community. I want to be part of this tribe. I want to create a framework that help people. And I'm just like, this woman just take your breath away. She's such a beautiful soul inside and out. And I just woke up to her passing. And what does that look like? What does that look like for you? What does that look like for me? And I remember becoming so angry this past week. Angry. Just so angry. Like, what's the sense? Why are we working this hard? And then it hit me. Then it hit me. My client passing and my illness of getting sick this past week woke me up and made me realize and allow me to shift how I do business. Allow me to understand that the content that I create, videos like this that I do, or audio that I do, or podcast, whatever it is, she woke me up to make me realize that when you're marketing, you're not marketing to get clients. You're marketing because you're living a digital footprint. A digital footprint that can keep talking when you're gone for years to come. It will still be out there in the digital world. Your voice, your image will still be out there in the digital world to help somebody who want to give up, to help somebody that tell them that they can keep going, to help somebody that's lost or stuck in what to do next, to help somebody not just position you as an authority, but to tell somebody that, hey, this is the solution to the problem that you have. And your digital footprint is the only thing that goes beyond the grave. It's the only thing that Miles Monroe used to go beyond the graves. You can still go on YouTube and get his intellectual properties. You can still buy a book and he'll still help you walk in your purpose from reading his books. He is still touching the masses right now. And I remember telling Bethania to create her Facebook group, create that group that she can talk to her target audience. She can talk to her audience. So I know for a fact she has a Facebook group. Even though she's passed on, she has a group that she's still helping people with Medicare because her digital footprint is still alive and well. And for that alone, that can keep talking, keep speaking for you beyond the grave when you're not able to do it. For that alone, it is so worth it. So your grandkids and your kids and you can leave words of legacy behind them, let them know who you were and what you were about. I mean, this past week I had the opportunity to send out my books, my the Brain Changer. This is a book that I co-wrote with Danielle Gomez, and inside of this book I talk about fear and labeling and self-sabotage and how we do this. We self-sabotage ourselves. And I just want to take a second to talk about fear of success. Self-sabotage, and this is from our book, The Brain Changer, Change Your Brain, Change Your Results. And I will leave a link to get a copy of this book below in the show notes. And it says, I stated, self-sabotage is perhaps the most insidious form of fear because it's often operate beneath the surface, unnoticed. It is a fear that tells us we're not worthy of success and that we don't deserve to achieve our dreams. This fear manifests subtly in subtle ways in our procrastination, perfectionism, self doubt, and it can incredibly destruct us if left unchecked. Looking back, I can see how self sabotage plays a significant role in my life. Every time I would get close to achieving something significant, I would find a way to self sabotage my effort. I would procrastinate, second guess myself, or simply impossibly high standards. I would set impossible high standard that I could never meet. This pattern of self-sabotage kept me stuck, preventing me from reaching my full potential. The root of this self-sabotage is a deep-seated fear of success. It is a fear that if we achieve our goals, we will be exposed, judged, or rejected. It is the fear that we are not good enough to handle the responsibility that comes with success. And so we unconditionally and subconsciously hold ourselves back, keep ourselves safe in a familiar territory of mediocre. This is exactly what I was doing, holding myself back. I was afraid of what success might bring. I was afraid of stepping in my full potential because it required me to let go of safety and comfort of the known. I was afraid of being judged, criticized, and ultimately failing. But I also realized by holding myself back, I was denying myself the opportunity to live the life I truly wanted. I was allowing fear to dictate my action to keep me small. Once I understood this, I made a conscious decision to stop self sabotaging myself and start supporting my own success. Breaking free from self sabotage requires a deep level of self awareness. I had to recognize the pattern of the behavior that were holding me back and understand underlying fears that were driving them. This was not an easy process, but it was necessary. So, to anyone right now, and you're definitely right here listening to me right now, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. We have allowed self sabotage, a fear of self sabotage to hold us back for way too long. We have allowed the self sabotage of procrastination to hold us back for too long. It is time for us to stop making excuses of why we're not further ahead. It is time for us to start writing our own digital blueprint. Start creating content that can last a lifetime beyond our grave. Start putting out content that can help the world right now, because we just don't know if what tomorrow brings. We have no control of that, and that's okay. We don't need to have control of that, because we can only control the things that we can control. And what does that look like? That means our purpose. We are purpose driven. God has given us a purpose. We are an assignment. And if we've been playing with our assignment, now is the time to wake us up. My client passing has woke me up. There's a second book I was supposed to be writing, and I've been playing around with that book forever. And I immediately, when this situation happened with me being sick, my clients, my uncle passing, it woke me up and says, if God had called me home, would I be happy? Did I accomplish all the things that I said I set out to accomplish? Or was I low and worried about what somebody else say, what somebody else think? I don't have enough money. All the objections that I tried to come up with. It's time to stop allowing things that mean us no good to write our story. We got to write our own story. If you've been holding back in showcasing your expertise, if you've been holding back in speaking, if you've been holding back in writing a book, if you've been holding back in doing that masterclass, if you've been holding back in doing that challenge, if you know you've been unconsciously or subconsciously self-sabotaging yourself, no more. Because I'm here to tell you, and I'm not here to scare you, but I'm here to tell you from a person who also hold a life insurance license, from a person who has sold life insurance policy to clients who are now getting that policy because of what I did, tomorrow is not promised. So if you're waiting to be great, stop waiting, because time is not on your side. If you're waiting, and because and it's and I've never been as serious as I ever been before. We don't have time to wait to be great. The time is now. And when you set out your path to be great, when you set out, because there's a reason why you're an expert in whatever you're expert in. There's a reason why you are. There's a reason there, because you're an expert, because somebody's stuck somewhere in whatever you're expert in, and they're looking for you to be visible so they can find you and walk in your purpose. So the excuses that we're going to use of why we're not showing up is way it's not enough. It's not enough. I made a conscious decision that from here on out, I'm going to create content that allows my son to see his mom and listen to his mom, regardless of where I am in the world, regardless of when God called me home. He will have digital assets of his mother for the rest of his soul life. He will have assets of his mother, encouraging and transforming people's life for the rest of his life, and his children and so on and so forth. That's the legacy I want to leave. And I brought up Dr. Miles Monroe because he just has such an amazing legacy. Because I discovered him one day when I was working at the sheriff's office and they were bringing in books. And even though this man is not alive, I can still read his books today, and his books are still transforming people life. And he's not physically here. And I want to use his lifestyle, his legacy as an example that we all can create that same digital blueprint. He left a framework for us to follow. And that's what I was thinking of when they asked me to join them in writing The Brain Changer, because the brain has been the thing that has been stopping us and creating this compel for us from not showing up. The brain has been stopping our $1 million idea, our $1 million mind. But I hope through this podcast episode, you're inspired to say, my purpose is bigger than what anyone think. What I'm doing here, the words that's coming out of my mouth, is bigger than what anyone can think. And it's time now for me to stop being the best kept secret. It's time now for me to stop playing small because I'm worried about what other people are saying, or I'm worried about labeling. I'm worried about self-sabotage. My duty on earth and my assignment on earth is way bigger. And I only have a few short time in this world, on this earth, to make an impact. And I'm here for a purpose. And because I'm here for a purpose, I got to get to work. I have to get to work. Before I end out, I just want to say my prayers go out to the Bethania Mandroy family. You're in our prayers. We are also going to drop a link for her GoFundMe for donation, because I've always heard me say I don't do GoFundMe, but when you have 3 bodies instead of 1, there's a difference there. And our team, our group has donated, and we've reached out to the family to see what else can we do to support her And I'm just grateful to have known her, and we just want to say, you know, our condolences to the Bethania family and her son. And we thank her for being a light, and thank her for being a wake up call for all of us who are kingdom builders, who are God driven people, who God gave an assignment, and we're walking in our purpose. God bless you.